Nothing is free, a tale of grit and glory. In the heart of a small, quiet town cradled by the jagged peaks of the Silverstone Mountains, a young man named Leo dreamed under a sky speckled with stars. At 20 years old, Leo was a dreamer with a heart full of ambition, but his world was bound by the constraints of poverty. His family lived in a modest, weather-beaten house on the edge of Willow Creek, a town so small it barely appeared on maps. The mountains loomed over the town like silent guardians, their snow-capped peaks glistening under the moonlight, casting a serene yet isolating glow over the community below. Leo's family was the anchor of his life. His father, Mark, was a mechanic whose hands were perpetually stained with grease, his face etched with lines of exhaustion from long hours at the garage. His mother, Claire, was a house cleaner, her days spent scrubbing floors and polishing windows for the wealthier families in nearby towns. Leo's younger sister, Sophie, was a bright-eyed 10-year-old with an infectious laugh and an unwavering belief in her brother's potential. To Sophie, Leo was a hero, a beacon of hope in their struggling household. One chilly evening in late autumn, Leo sat on the creaky wooden porch of their home, wrapped in a threadbare jacket. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine from the nearby forests. He gazed at the stars, each one a distant reminder of the life he yearned for, a life where his family didn't have to count pennies or skip meals to pay bills. "I want to give them a better life," Leo whispered to himself, his breath visible in the cold night air. "But how do I start when we have nothing?" The question lingered, heavy and unanswered, until the next morning when Leo joined his father for breakfast. The kitchen was small, with peeling wallpaper and a table that wobbled on uneven legs. Mark sipped his coffee, his eyes tired but kind. "Dad," Leo began, hesitating, "I want to do something big. I want to own restaurants, build a business, make sure you and Mom and Sophie never have to worry again." Mark set his mug down, his expression a mix of pride and skepticism. "Leo, dreams like that, they're not free. Nothing worth having comes easy. If you want something, you've got to fight for it. Claw your way up from nothing. Start small, but start." Those words echoed in Leo's mind long after the conversation ended. He spent the day wandering the narrow streets of Willow Creek, observing the rhythm of the town. The townsfolk were simple, hard-working people, farmers, shopkeepers, and laborers who rose with the sun and retired with its setting. As Leo passed the town's only grocery store, he noticed a group of women chatting about the inconvenience of traveling to Pinewood, a larger town 30 miles away, to buy fresh bread. The bakery there was renowned for its crusty loaves and fluffy pastries, but the journey was long and costly. An idea sparked in Leo's mind, bright and daring. What if he could bring fresh bread to Willow Creek? The thought was exhilarating, but daunting. He had no money, no resources, only a burning desire to succeed. That night, he lay awake in his cramped bedroom, the moonlight filtering through a cracked window. He resolved to take a risk, to fight for his dream, just as his father had advised. The next morning, Leo set out for Pinewood. The journey was arduous, a 3-hour walk along a winding dirt road that cut through dense forests and rolling hills. His worn sneakers kicked up dust with each step, and the chill of the early morning bit at his exposed hands. When he finally reached Anderson's Bakery, a quaint shop with a faded red sign, he found Mr. Anderson behind the counter. The old baker was a gruff man in his 60s, with a permanent scowl and flour-dusted hands. His reputation for being unapproachable was well known, but Leo squared his shoulders and stepped inside. "Mr. Anderson," Leo said, his voice steady despite the nerves twisting in his stomach, "I'm Leo from Willow Creek. I want to sell your bread in my town. People there love your bread, but it's too far to come here. I don't have money to buy it up front, but if you trust me for 1 week, I'll sell the bread, pay you back, and keep a small profit." Mr. Anderson's bushy eyebrows shot up. "And why should I trust a kid like you? I don't even know you." Leo met his gaze. "Because I'm determined. I'll work harder than anyone you've ever met to prove myself. Give me a chance and I won't let you down." The old man studied Leo for a long moment, his eyes narrowing. Finally, he grunted. 1 week. If you don't pay me back, don't show your face here again." Leo's heart soared. The next morning, he returned to Pinewood at dawn, the sky painted in hues of pink and gold. Mr. Anderson handed him a sack filled with warm loaves, crusty sourdough, soft white bread, and golden dinner rolls. The weight of the sack strained Leo's shoulders as he trekked back to Willow Creek, but he felt lighter than ever, buoyed by possibility. In Willow Creek, Leo set up a makeshift stand near the town park, a grassy square where children played and old men swapped stories on weathered benches. He arranged the loaves on a borrowed table, his hands trembling with excitement. "Fresh bread!" he called out, his voice cutting through the morning quiet. "Warm, delicious, straight from Pinewood." At first, passers-by glanced at him with curiosity, but kept walking. Leo's confidence wavered, but he refused to give up. He sliced a loaf of sourdough and offered free samples, his smile unwavering. "Try it," he urged, a skeptical farmer. "It's the best bread you'll ever taste." The farmer took a bite, and his eyes widened. "Well, I'll be damned. That's good." He bought 2 loaves, and word spread. By noon, a small crowd had gathered, and by evening, Leo had sold every loaf. His pockets jingled with coins, a sound sweeter than any music. That night, he walked back to Pinewood, paid Mr. Anderson in full, and earned a nod of approval. "You kept your word," the old man said. "Come back tomorrow." For weeks, Leo followed the same grueling routine. He woke up at 4 a.m., walked to Pinewood, carried the bread back, and sold it with relentless energy. His enthusiasm was infectious. Soon, the townsfolk looked forward to his cheerful greetings and the aroma of fresh bread wafting through the park. After 2 months, Leo had saved enough to buy a rickety wooden cart, which he repaired and painted a bright blue. The cart made it easier to transport more bread, and his profits grew. One sunny afternoon, as Leo handed a loaf to Mrs. Carter, a kind woman who ran the local flower shop, she said, "Leo, you're a natural at selling, but have you thought about baking your own bread? You'd make more money if you didn't have to buy from Mr. Anderson." The suggestion hit Leo like a lightning bolt. Baking his own bread could be the key to growing his business, but the idea terrified him. He had never baked a loaf in his life. The thought of failing, of wasting his hard-earned savings, gnawed at him. That night, he sat with Sophie on the porch, her small hands clutching a mug of hot cocoa. "What if I mess it up, Soph? What if I'm not good enough?" But success brought new challenges. One spring morning, a new bakery opened in Willow Creek. Eric, a charismatic young man from Pinewood, had set up a sleek shop with colorful signs, polished counters, and an array of dazzling cakes. Customers flocked to his store, drawn by the novelty. Leo's sales plummeted, and fear crept in. What if he lost everything he'd built? Instead of despairing, Leo sought feedback. He approached his regular customers, notepad in hand. "What do you like about Eric's bakery?" he asked. "What can I do better?" Mrs. Carter was blunt. "His shop's clean, modern. The cakes look like art. You're good, Leo, but you need to stand out." Leo took her words to heart. He used his savings to paint his cart in vibrant colors, adding hand-painted flowers and swirls. He watched cake decorating videos at the library, practicing late into the night until his hands cramped. He introduced new pastries, lemon tarts, chocolate croissants, and offered free samples to win back customers. Slowly, the townsfolk returned, drawn by Leo's warmth and the quality of his goods. One evening, an elderly woman named Mrs. Grayson approached his cart. Her eyes crinkled as she spoke. "I've seen plenty of folks give up when things get tough, Leo, but you keep going. That's why we trust you." Her words fueled Leo's drive. By winter, he had saved enough to rent a small shop in the heart of Willow Creek. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes, painting the sign himself in bold red letters. The shop was modest but cozy, with wooden shelves and a counter where Sophie proudly arranged pastries. Claire took on the role of bookkeeper, her meticulous notes keeping the business on track. The shop became a gathering place where neighbors shared stories over coffee and warm bread. But life, as Leo had learned, was never without trials. One stormy night, as he locked up the shop, he noticed a flicker of light inside. Heart pounding, he rushed in to find a small fire near the oven, likely sparked by a faulty wire. He grabbed a bucket of water and doused the flames, but the damage was done. Scorched walls, a ruined oven, and shelves of ruined ingredients. The townsfolk whispered their pity the next day, some saying, "Poor Leo, this might be the end." Leo stood outside his damaged shop, his breath visible in the cold air. "This is just a challenge," he said aloud, his voice steady. "I've faced worse. I won't give up." He visited Mr. Anderson, now retired, and poured out his worries. The old man listened, then smiled. "Leo, you already know what to do. You've built something from nothing before. Hard work and belief. That's your answer."
Inspired, Leo returned to baking at home using a small, borrowed oven. He sold what he could, delivering bread on foot to loyal customers. The townsfolk, moved by his resilience, rallied around him. Mrs. Carter donated flour, the grocer gave him sugar, and a group of neighbors helped clean the shop. Leo realized a profound truth. When you work tirelessly and refuse to quit, people notice. They want to support someone who fights for their dream. Months later, Leo reopened Leo's Fresh Bakes. The shop was brighter, with fresh paint, new shelves, and a display of cupcakes, adorned with delicate frosting flowers. On opening day, the mayor attended, addressing the crowd. "Leo's shown us what determination looks like," he said. "He's an inspiration." As the crowd cheered, Leo looked at his family. Mark's proud smile, Claire's tearful eyes, and Sophie's beaming grin. His bakery wasn't just a business, it was a symbol of hope, a testament to what was possible when you refused to let failure define you. Years later, Leo's Fresh Bakes became a beloved institution. People traveled from neighboring towns to taste his bread, to meet the young man who turned a dream into reality. Leo never forgot his roots. He partnered with Mr. Anderson's successors, ensuring the Pinewood Bakery thrived. He mentored young entrepreneurs in Willow Creek, sharing the lessons he'd learned. Dreams are not free. Failure is a teacher. Hard work inspires help, and persistence turns dreams into reality. Leo's story spread beyond Willow Creek, a beacon for anyone chasing a dream. Whatever your goal, he'd say, don't stop. Nothing is free, but everything is possible. Thank you for watching videos. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Let us know in the comments what other historical figures you'd like us to cover. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and let's keep history's lessons alive.